mirror neurosynapse allows me to do a much more connection with someone else's mind, body, and spirit. However, the average human being does have neurosynapses. So if you are fucking following football and following a fan of yours, let's say the Fridge, that's the only football player I know right now. So you're following the Fridge, and it turns out he's a woman beater. It's a good chance you program yourself to be a woman beater, not even knowing it. Because you followed someone else's core understanding and became your core programming. If you do anything too much, period, without telling your brain what you want to do and not to do, it becomes who you are.
Your behavior.
Your behavior. Well, not only your behavior, your perception, how you think, how you act.
And it's
the difference between a hero
it happens
and a coward.
Without you thinking.
It's programming.
Subconscious. It happens without you thinking about it.
Yeah, core programming is always subconscious. It's always subconscious.
So it feels right.
It feels like it's your decision, like you made the choice.
Right.
Like you really did it. And because you think you really did it, or you felt like you really did it, you feel like fault, you feel like guilt, you feel shame, you feel pain. But in reality, you didn't do it. It wasn't your decision.
So with normal choices, you have multiple different things coming into the choices. You have who you are, you have your nature, you have your whatever.
Your perspective, your
you
ideas, your
your conscious
beliefs.
Your conscious beliefs, your subconscious beliefs. You have a soul.
Most people don't even know that, though. That's what free will is. For your soul to be in control of your body.
If you have a poltergeist or
possession.
Or possession, if you're possessed, you have a possession running you. So you could have 4 or 5 things making a choice. You don't even have a clue. So you only have only with this free will. How many stocks do you have in that barrel?
Oh, I guess
if you got 100%.
Yeah, how much percentage of your free will you actually use?
Right.
Do you have? Are you free? I mean, do you have free? I mean, did this stuff come from your parents? Is it biological? Is it?
In some natures, it is biological. It's DNA. DNA
But you
can be
always
part
have
of the programming,
something you've
but only
learned.
if it's reinforced by environmental programming.
Learn.
Yeah, well, mimic. We don't
Mimic.
learn. We mimic. We're not taught things. We mimic things. When you go to school and you learn something, you're not actually learning. You're mimicking someone else's behavior. You're mimicking someone else's idea. You're mimicking someone else's ideology. Take someone like Albert Einstein, who was a free thinker, and a person who lived by his soul but did not know it because he was conformed preemptively by religion and society to think a certain way. That he had to lock himself in a barn, like every other fucking great muse out there in the world. Every great genius who ever exists had to get away from society.
Right.
To be able to figure out what their soul knew to be true, to be not outlawed.
Because if you're a true empath, you feel everyone else's feelings and thoughts.
Well, no.
Feelings and thoughts, or just feelings?
If you're an empath, you only pick up on feelings as well as environmental frequencies.
Which are affected by thoughts.
Which are affected by thoughts, 100%. If you're an empathic, you can pick up on their feelings, thoughts, and then as you grow in your empath nature, you can pick up their memories.
So as a lot of good parents are told, put yourself around the right people.
Environmental is everything. If you can control your environment, you will excel beyond any other body, period. If you can excel in a positive existing environment. But that can be tricky, because there's a lot of religions, even cults out there, they will build you the perfect environment, would have a hidden truth in it, and they're manipulating for your own go. Because you found home.
So, can I get any good insight on what I should do, or what we should do, or what? Any suggestions on how we can start doing better individually, each person? Like, if you were to talk to someone right here now,
okay,
and you were going to talk to them and their heart, what they need to do to start the change, to be more towards them.
Well, the change is easy. To start the change is easy. And a lot of people call it awaken, but it's not about being awakened. Awaken just simply means you're more aware of what's going on. It's a form of ascension. It's 100% a form of ascension. You're more allowing your soul's ideologies and consciousness to flow through you.
This side of the sidewalk.
To do this is simply called conscious acceptance. Accept things that your mind will never let you accept. You don't have to believe it's real. Just accept that it exists as a possibility it's out there. By doing that will cause your anatomy, your biological brain, to open new neural synapses. By doing so, more consciousness will pour into your mind, and you'll begin to expand your own nature. Find your own empathic state, or empath state, or hypersensitive. I don't really see a difference. hypersensitive and empath's the same thing. I know people want to give levels to shit so everybody can fit in their own category, but division is always the worst enemy. We're a united being, not an individual.
Joshua, Jesus, whatever you want to call him, the prophet, Jesus,
Yeshua,
whatever. He mentioned a lot of things that to me make sense. He said, "We are all gods."
Yes, we're all gods.
He said that these things I've done, better things you will do. He said that what you speak, what you think, what you focus on, basically attraction. He said, "I can move this mountain. You can move this mountain." He said a lot of things like that tell you you have power. You are more than obviously most of us believe we are. He healed people. He moved mountains. He created stuff out of nothing, or what we perceive as nothing. He brought food where there wasn't food. He did things. He said that this is all possible to us. He called us brothers. He called us gods. He called a lot of things that most Catholic whatever doesn't really
reinforce, or even put back behind.
So what do you think about these? I mean, because I'm not
exactly
at all disclaiming Jesus.
All right,
I mean,
okay. I'm not saying Jesus
he was putting us on point.
Said that.
Is what it felt like.
I don't know who said that, but it's 100% accurate. Every human being is a god. Now, understanding that a god is simply controlled by their level of power of thinking, right? So
we all have a portion. We all have a portion that we could use, but we don't always use.
If you believe, as a god, that you are weak and feeble and can get sick and catch diseases and die,
most people believe that. By what? The media? The media?
Then you will.
The media tells you that.
Then you will.
It's
not just the media.
Day one.
You can blame the media.
From
let's
day
be real.
one.
Let's be real. When you're a kid, you don't watch the media. You're watching cartoons. You're not watching the news. Your parents turn on the news. You walk out of that fucking room.
The cartoons. You don't think the cartoons? Have you watched cartoons? Have you watched cartoons?
Movies, TV shows, society. These are things that now is important. Now it's important. All right, core programming has existed for a long time, and it has shifted with society. When the TVs came along, it made it easier. When radio came along, it made it easier. But back in the day, you didn't have that shit. You had personal communication. Your loved ones, your best friends, your family, people you trusted to program you correctly, and they were programmed wrong from the jump, so therefore you were never going to get it right. You think you have values, you have morals, it makes you consciously accept it and better everybody else? You're a god.
You're told to feel bad. You're told to feel bad.
I have manners. I open doors for people. That's another conscious perception.
How often do you get told to feel bad?
Guilt is important. You know why guilt is important? It has value. That's right. Guilt has a value. The more guilty you can feel about anything, it has a value. That's why church works so well.
You heard it here.
That's why church works so well. You go in there for hope, and you get some. Right? And then
I got guilt.
And then they throw in a couple guilt trips.
Are you gay?
Yeah, they throw in a couple guilt trips.
Something?
You go from offering $20 to $100. Offering $100 to $1,000. For what? So you can build more big-ass buildings with large pieces of glass that cost millions of dollars?
So
while we have homeless running around worldwide. We have starving kids worldwide.
I gotta say this. Joshua said you will no longer have to go to a church, a temple, or whatever. The temple of God is where? Within you.
Yep.
The temple of God is within you.
I gotta explain that too, though.
Here first. It's here first. It's good to have community. It's good to grow. It's good to do all that.
The temple of God is within you, right? So most people automatically affiliate the word temple with a building or a structure of some kind. You want that cat running loose?
Which one?
The mama.
She's coming to go a couple.
Oh yeah,
okay. I just can't. I'm just checking. You know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They chilling like a villain.
So the temple is merely construct, and every construct is formed from a original result, which is quantum math. All right. God, as all powerful as He is made up of atoms, just like we are. Does he have more atoms than us? Absolutely. He can maintain more in his not his biological state, in his dimensional state than we can. But we have the exact same ability, exact same power. We think reality. And I don't mean just like, oh, I thought about that song and it came on, or I thought about this and then it happened, or I needed something and then it happened. I mean, with the right energy and the right people and the right connection, the right group, quantifying all their subatomic merge as one powerful energy source and focusing it, instant change.